from? He doesn't even know load shedding. Welcome to the future, buddy. What an idiot. South Africans have had load shedding for so long now that I don't know if you've noticed this, but you've started becoming load shedding connoisseurs. You know, I've heard conversations where people are talking about load shedding, and they'll be talking about their favorite load shedding. People be sitting there and they'll be like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, my favorite load shedding easily, bro, is like 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. That's like the best load shedding. That's when you want load shedding, eh? Because like you're already asleep, right? It doesn't bother anything, it doesn't mess anything up. That's like the best load shedding ever. People are there fighting. No, I think 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Guys, you're crazy. No, that's the best. Let me tell you the best. My favorite load shedding. Guys, you can't have your favorite bad thing. Are you kidding me? How long has this been going for that you're like, this is my favorite? You can't have a favorite bad thing. That's like someone being like, yeah, my favorite plane crash. My favorite plane crash is the one that goes like this. That's my favorite one. My favorite load shedding. It's ridiculous. People have moved, people have changed. There's dynamics I don't understand. You know, I'm trying to get used to it. For instance, the last time I was doing shows here, when load shedding would hit, the lights would just go out, and that would be it. Like when you were at a shop, the lights would go out, and that was that. And then now everyone has generators. And so now there's a pause, but I didn't know about this. And I've noticed that the lights go out, and when they do, everyone in South Africa just stands where they are. And then when the lights come on, they carry on. Yeah. That's weird. At least have fun in the load shedding. Huh? There's a moment of darkness. Make it exciting, make it creative. I've started figuring out some things. You know, like at the Checkers that's next to my house, what I do is whenever I'm shopping there, I know that the load shedding, between the load shedding and the generator kicking in, it's 45 seconds. So what I'll do is, if the load shedding hits in that 45 seconds, I'll just take boxes off the shelf and I just stack them into like a tower, and then I'll step away from it. Then when the lights come back, it's like, I'm like, Kibuloi. I just try and make things interesting. Because there's things that you have to understand. There's things that are different now. One of the weirdest ones for me, happened when I needed to get new appliances for my house, right? So I needed to get like kettles and toasters and all those small things. And so I went, right? I was going to at home. I was at home. No, I was at. They must change the name of that shop because you can't, how do you say it? Because you can't say I was at home because then it seems like I was ekaya. So you were at home, but that doesn't sound grammatically. They should have just called it home and we say the at. Anyway, I was by that shop, né? And so I'm there busy shopping for appliances. And while we're shopping, everything's normal, everything's not. And about at 5 to 2, one of the employees walks out from behind the cash register. And she's like, ladies and gentlemen, please stay where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay where you are. And I'm there like, did we win something? And then without missing a beat, the security guards at home close the doors, and then they lock the gate. And then they stood in front of the door. And then the staff came and stood with them. And then they just looked at us. Now, I don't know what's happening. South Africans who've been here know exactly what's going on. I just saw people lock the gates, block the entrance, and stare at me like they're challenging me. So in my head, I'm like, oh, this is Squid Game. I'm like, things have gotten so bad in South Africa that now you have to fight your way out of a shop. Like literally, while they're staring at me, all I'm thinking in my head is, and then the lights go out. And they come back. And she's like, thank you very much, everybody. You can continue. And then they open the shop. And then everyone just carried on, like nothing happened. Everyone was just there, doing their thing. I was stunned. I'm looking at everybody like this. So I go to the counter. Hello, guy. See the guy's name tag. I'm like, Eta, how's it, my man? Tabo, ne? He's like, sure. I'm Trevisto. How are you, my brother? I'm like, I'm grand. Buena? He's like, I'm good, my man. I'm good. Sure. How can I help you? I was like, Tibos, what happened? What just happened? He's like, where? Everywhere, Tabo. Everywhere. What just happened everywhere? You just locked the shop, looked like you were threatening us, and now everything's gone back to normal. He's like, oh, hey, son. No, Trevor, it's because of the load shedding. I'm like, no, Angiti, that doesn't explain anything. What happened? He's like, hey, you haven't been here for long, ne? So you see, Trevor, ne? Because of load shedding, what started happening, ne, was some of the customers, ne, they started realizing that when the load shedding hits, ne, the sensor there by the door, it's not working. You see? So then, those customers started coming just before load shedding. Then they were filling their trolley, just filling it up. We were even watching like, we are doing well today. These people, it's not even month end. They were filling the trolley. Then they were standing by the door. Then the lights was just going, zoo. Then these ones were, bah. Then the lights was coming back, zoo. Then the shelves were empty. Ice cream truck is like, blung, 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 blung. I don't want that for my kids. When my kids are getting ice cream, I don't want that jolly music playing. I want happy music. When my kids are about to get ice cream, I want there to be suspense. I want it to sound like the beginning of a horror movie. I want that thrill when the truck turns around the corner. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. That's what I want for my kids. Why do I want them to grow up in this country? There's so many reasons. You know why I want my kids to be South African? Because I want my kids to have grit. I want them to have texture. You take for granted what a child growing up in South Africa learns. You take for granted what they have to go through. It makes you something special, you know? It polishes you, a diamond from the rough. There's something of like, I realized this one day. I was in the street in Brooklyn, right outside of New York City, right? And I'm sitting outside. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. And I'm in the street, and there's these kids playing baseball, right? And I'm watching these kids while they're playing. Well, I wasn't like watching them. I just saw them, And no, like I wasn't like they were just there. And I was looking in that direction. In fact, I was looking first, and then they came and started playing while I was looking there. So like they're the ones with the problem. Anyway, so the kids were there, and they were playing baseball, right? And having like a really great time. One kid pitches the ball, hits it, runs around. The other one comes, hits the ball, and then one kid pitched the ball, and the kid bats it and hits it, and it flew into a car window on the side, and the window cracked. And the kid who hits it was like, and then the kid who threw the ball, he was like, and then the other kids who were just standing around, they were like, And then soon it was 10 kids all crying at different times. I can't have children like that. One broken window, 10 children crying. Guys, that'll never happen in South Africa. What is the point of that? I remember what it was like growing up. We'd be outside in the streets playing. Everyone was there busy with the soccer ball. Busy having some fun playing diski. Someone would kick that ball too hard. Ball would fly over the wall, hit someone's window. And the thing I love is South African windows always act like they're not gonna break. And then the kid who kicked the ball, they'd look and they'd be like, and the rest of us would see what is about to happen. We'd know. We understand why our friend is terrified. They're in more trouble than they've ever been in their lives. But we wouldn't cry. What is our crying going to help our friend? No. We would be there. We would look over into our friend's eyes. We'd stare at them and we'd be like, I love banana. You broke the window. They're gonna hit you. They're gonna kill you. And then we'd take the ball and be like, see you tomorrow. Those are the kids I want. That's why I want South African children. You kidding me? And the most important reason I want to have children that are South African is because I want children who have culture and respect. Culture and respect. You take that for granted as a South African. The way we treat each other, even in the toughest times, you take it for granted because you're here. But guys, South Africans, we're truly a cut above the rest. Like, you think I'm wrong. You think I'm lying. Go, walk anywhere in public where there are other South Africans. Fall flat on your face. Pa! Tell me there's no South African there who will feel your pain. You'll fall. Bah! They'll all be there like, sorry. Ooh, sorry. Ach, shame, man. Ach, nee, man. Ach, shame. Ach, fooi toch, man. Ach, shame. You know that doesn't happen overseas. Yeah. There's a lot of countries around the world where no one cares about what happens to you if they don't know you. I saw this firsthand in New York. I was walking through the street and there was this old lady who had just come back from grocery shopping and she was carrying her bag. And this lady was old, guys. Like old. Like old. Like old. You know, like old. Like old. Like she was knocking. You know what I mean? Like old. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like even where like the angel of death was there walking with her like, anytime I know I'll just be here in case. Like old, I'm talking about old. You know when you're so old, every morning you wake up shocked like, I'm still here. Like that old. And this little old lady was walking with her bag. She had a little plastic bag with groceries. And as she got to the middle of the street, the bag burst. And all the vegetables that were inside her bag scattered on the ground. And vegetables, you all know, is the worst thing to drop. Yeah, because nothing runs like vegetables, eh? Have you seen vegetables when you drop them out of a packet? They go in every direction, like they know you're gonna murder them. Guys, they're gone. Those vegetables, especially onions, have you seen onions? They land and they're like... Guys, these vegetables were strewn in every direction. Nobody stopped to help this lady. No one cared. People made it seem like she inconvenienced them. They were hopping over it, looking at her, judging her. I was the only one who felt bad. I went, I started gathering up the vegetables, started picking them. As I picked them up, this old lady turned and she looked at me and she was like, hey! Hey, don't touch my vegetables, you asshole! Put those down, you piece of shit! And I was like, yo, sorry. I don't want that for my kids. I want them to grow up in a culture where there's respect and care. Respect being one of the key ones.